Detective O'Sullivan began his investigation into the Larry Davis affair. First, he began looking for a suspect, an individual that he had never met before, an individual that throughout the case he had never heard of. He begins looking for this suspect, the defendant, Larry Davis, to arrest. His investigation leads him to Bronx County, where the defendant lives, and in early November of 1986, he places a telephone call to the 41st Precinct in the Bronx, where he speaks to a lieutenant by the name of John Sebring. Sebring is commanding officer of Bronx Detectives at the 41st Precinct. Now, after he has this conversation, he makes an official request that Donald O'Sullivan be reassigned to work with him at the 41st Precinct with his detectives, because they're also working on a homicide case. A task force is formed. A task force of police officers that has only one purpose: to arrest this so-called Rambo from the Bronx, the defendant, Larry Davis, for murder. Officers from the unit are drawn from a number of units. Officers from the 44th Precinct are brought into the investigation. Detectives from the 41st Precinct are there. Donald O'Sullivan is there from Manhattan. And members from the Bronx Area Detectives Task Force. This is a unit of specially trained detectives that help supplement the local precincts in making arrests in special cases, special situations, such as homicides. The task force begins operating out of the 41st Precinct in the Bronx. And on November the 6th, 1986, detectives believe they have a plan formulated that will help pinpoint the defendant's location. The call goes to another unit of the New York City Police Department, the Emergency Services Unit. A unit of specially trained officers that deal with emergency-type situations, such as rescues, speaking to suicide attempt people, water rescue, automobile rescue. But they also carry special equipment in their trucks. And the firepower from their high-powered shotguns give local detectives an extra margin of safety. A call goes into emergency services on November the 6th, and they respond. Detectives believe that they have a defendant located at an apartment at 1056 Washington Avenue. The task force mounts up. The task force mobilizes. They enter the building. They enter the apartment. The defendant is gone. Through an open window and down the fire escape, the wily Larry Davis has once again escaped. Manhunt continues. New York's finest. Never give up! Voila. On November the 19th, 1986, detectives receive a tip that leads them to believe that the defendant is located at his sister's apartment at 1231 Fulton Avenue, apartment 1A, a sister by the name of Regina Lewis. Once more, the task force mounts up. The task force mobilizes. Calls flash into the detective area desk to help utilize their help. A call goes to emergency services, once again, to utilize them. The Lieutenant John Sebring speaks to his captain, Captain John Ridge, a veteran detective of Bronx Area Detectives. And together, they formulate a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's lunchtime. We are going to recess until 2:30. So please enjoy your lunch. Now do not discuss a case among yourselves. And be back here promptly at 2:30 so we can continue. Step out.